Hello and welcome back to the Wildly Wealthy Woman podcast. I'm your host, Jackie McDonald, your tapping bestie, your business mentor, and the woman that's here to help you move from becoming into fully being the wildly wealthy woman that you were created to be. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest money mindset hacks that men have known forever, but many women were never taught. If you have a friend that you know is working on her money mindset right now, I invite you to send this to her. You and her can work together on this topic, and let's dive in. Most men see money simply as a tool. Culturally, societally, and historically, men are taught that money is for building, creating leverage, solving problems, and for increasing options and power. Money is a resource to move things forward. For men, money is something that's outside of them. It's largely functional, practical, and strategic. But for women, we often feel that money is connected to our worthiness or our emotional value more than men do. Now, this isn't for all women. This is just, a observation that I've had. And that is what I want to help you change today. Women often think, am I allowed to charge this much? Will they think that I'm greedy? Do I really deserve it? What will people think of me? I'm curious if you have ever said or thought these things to yourself. That's because women tend to internalize money more than men. As a woman, we often tie money to being good, generous, significant, deserving, validated. The underlying identity is I'm valuable when I give instead of I'm valuable simply because I exist. This is a pattern you're going to be breaking today in this episode and in your tapping work with me. When women come to work with me, they stop wondering if they're allowed to earn more, raise their prices, ask for a higher salary. They start asking, does this number make sense to me? Is this the number that covers me? What's the number that builds my future? It starts to release the inner drama and guilt and shrinking, and really helps you see that the least greedy thing you can do is make more money. And this is a point that I really want to drive home for you today. Is that men don't think that making more money is greedy, but unfortunately, many women do. I did a session with a one-on-one client recently who has been a teacher for many, many years. And I want you to think about the identity that you're most familiar with that might not be a wildly wealthy woman identity. And thinking about the process of shifting from who you used to be to who you are becoming, who you really are at your core. And as we tapped, we realized that she had this belief that sales were sleazy. And I said, that's the belief of your teacher self. What does your wildly wealthy woman believe about sales? And as we tapped into using the parts of self-tapping work, her wildly wealthy woman, she saw sales as an important part of serving others. But her teacher identity felt like knowledge should be free. We can sell for experiences or retreats, but selling knowledge should be free. Neither is wrong or right, but it's really giving you the power to choose what's the new money belief that I want to have now. And so as we did this integration tapping process, which you'll experience in one-on-ones with me, she completely shifted out of the teacher that thought that, she shouldn't charge for her services, she should give everything away for free, to embodying the version of herself that knows the value that she has. She gets people results in her business. She has been kind of in this back and forth between, do I let go of teaching, step into my business fully? As we tapped into the wildly wealthy woman, she saw it is my job to give people the answer to their prayers through my work. It is important for me to sell because the greediest thing I can do is withhold this information. The greediest thing I can do is not allow people to pay me. And so this is a gentle process that we have to do on a subconscious level, because you can hear everything I'm sharing today and conceptually know it, but to really feel it on a deeper level, this is where the tapping work is so vital for you to actually embody that new mindset. And so really taking a moment today to think about what's the old money identity that I am most comfortable with. Maybe it's being an employee, maybe it's being a mom, maybe it's being someone that has stayed at home and hasn't worked. And thinking about your new self, the wildly wealthy woman that allows herself to ask for more, make more, receive more. Where are you? We have to bridge that gap. Where are you on that journey? Are you more towards the old self or are you more towards the new self? And we're in day 9 of the 21 days of tapping. We tapped on this exact thing, making decisions from your future versus from your past. And so I encourage you, if you haven't already, to go listen to day 9. I was tapping with someone recently. She's such a brilliant woman. And I shared with her a story, podcast conversation with Daniel Priestley and Lewis Howes, where Daniel said to Lewis, I want you to pick a number for next year. I don't want you to be greedy, but I want you to pick a number that will support and cover you fully. And Lewis thinks about it for a minute and then he responds and he says 20 million. And when Daniel asked him why, he said, because the more money I have, the more power I have to do good with it. And that is the line that I want you to really think about today. When I offered you that prompt, how much do you need to make in the next year? Don't be greedy, but to really cover you. Did you allow yourself to pick a number that would allow you to just scrape by? Or did you pick a number that would allow you to go above and beyond and be a generous giver? Someone that can not only cover her own costs, but the cost of her surrounding community, the people and the things that she wants to support. Men don't think it's greedy to ask for more. They think it's greedy not to. Because if they don't have more, they can't give more. They can't build, donate, fund, or influence. I sat there thinking, would a woman say a number that big? Not because she isn't capable, but because she was never taught that she's allowed. This goes into why women feel guilt around money. It's all programming. Most of us are programmed to believe, to be grateful for what we have, to not ask for too much, don't be greedy, to be humble, to be good, and to be helpful. Give more than you receive. Women have been taught to associate goodness with self-sacrifice. Men were taught to associate success with expansion. So of course, if a man hears don't be greedy, he picks 20 million. A woman hears don't be greedy and she might shrink. And this is the programming that I want to help you break today. Let's do a little nervous system check-in. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, as long as it's a safe place for you to do so. And I want you to notice on a scale of 0 to 10, how high is your resistance to receiving more right now? Where do you feel it in your body? Your mind might say, I want more, but your body might say, I don't need any help. I can do it myself. That's your old identity speaking. The identity that believes staying small is noble, overgiving is generous, charging more is selfish, or asking for more is greedy, or receiving support makes you weak. But what I want you to hear is not making money doesn't make you humble. It just leaves you powerless. The greedy thing is actually not asking for more. Think about it. When you're depleted, your family doesn't run as well. If you don't have more, you can't give more. I interviewed Vina Jetty on our previous podcast, and she is truly one of the most brilliant women that I've ever spoken with. She's managed over $1 billion in real estate, and she told me something that I haven't been able to get out of my head. And that is by 2030 that we're going through a massive wealth transfer. There's $124 trillion being transferred, and $100 trillion of that is going to women. Let that sink in for a minute. We are stepping into an era where women will be the financial leaders of our households, industries, and communities. And you know what else research shows? That when women have money, families thrive, communities grow, kids have better outcomes, philanthropy increases, and healing multiplies. Women circulate wealth, uplift communities, and do good with money. This is why the world does not need more exhausted women. It needs more well-supported, wildly wealthy women. Women with overflow, with choices, with influence, who aren't scraping by emotionally or financially. Your wealth isn't a luxury. It's a responsibility. Because when you rise, everyone connected to you rises too. So I want you to shift today from the identity of helper to wildly wealthy woman. You know, and the most high-functioning women that I coach, even millionaires, are still struggling with receiving. Not because they can't receive, but because their identity is still tied to being the helper, the good girl, the one who handles it all. doing everything alone, earning love through service, earning money through exhaustion. And I tell them you can't become a wildly wealthy woman while holding on to the identity of an over-functioning one. There's always an identity upgrade, and today we're stepping into yours. Before we anchor in that new identity, I want you to repeat this to yourself. I forgive myself for settling for less, for calling depletion generosity, for thinking that asking for more was greedy. I forgive myself for the years I spent surviving instead of allowing myself to receive. I am worthy of being well supported, of having more than enough. Take a deep breath. Your nervous system needed that. Now let's anchor in your new identity with these 5 activating statements. Not making more money doesn't make me humble, it just keeps me powerless. I'm going to stop calling it giving when it's actually self-abandonment. The world doesn't need me exhausted. It needs me well supported. I'm going to let receiving be my new way of giving. Because when I am thriving, everyone around me thrives. These aren't just cute affirmations. These are identity statements. Your wealth is needed. You are not here to shrink or scrape by or self-sacrifice your way through life. You are here to receive, to be well supported, to build wealth, to change patterns and break generational cycles. You're here to do it by leading with grace and being able to give from a place of overflow, not depletion. And I want to walk you through that journey. If you haven't already, I invite you to join the 21 Days of Tapping. But for those of you that are really called to committing to this path this year, I invite you to join me in a one-on-one 6-month journey. I only open this a couple times a year. They're open right now. And for those of you that are looking for a group experience, we have a very exciting offer coming up this Black Friday. So I want you to make sure that before you close off today, you go to the show notes, you get in the 21 days, you join the Black Friday waitlist. And if you're interested in doing this bigger, deeper work in 2026 around your money mindset, around your wildly wealthy woman identity, taking that idea of who you want to become and bringing it into being, apply for a one-on-one experience with me. And before we end off today, I want to say to you what I said to my daughter the other night. We were watching the new All Is Fair Kim Kardashian show, and I love to follow Kris Jenner because I'm fascinated about how she's raised her daughters to value themselves at such a high degree that in order to have a brand deal with them, the minimum amount is $1 million. I looked over and I said to Mira, now is such an exciting time to be a woman. Never in history have we had the freedom, the options, the resources that we have right now. And I want to say the same thing to you. There is an opportunity here for you to step into your wildly wealthy woman era in a way that wasn't available before. So this is your official invitation. Send this to a friend. Thank you for listening. Thank you for rising with me. Thank you for becoming the wildly wealthy woman you know you were created to be. I love you, and we will see you in the next episode.